Skylanders Spyro's Adventure was released on the Nintendo Wii, Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, PC, and Wii U back in 2011. But did you know about the 3DS version? The console versions are all the same. From the story to the gameplay, you can jump from one to the other and understand exactly what's going on and how to play without skipping a beat. But the 3DS is very different. Almost everything from the console version is different. One of the only things that remain the same is the Skylanders names. Other than that, the story, gameplay, and most interestingly, the Skylanders movesets and upgrades are almost all completely different, leading to the Skylanders you know and love to now have totally new ways to play. So today we're going to be looking at each Skylander from Skylanders Spyro's Adventure in the Wii version and compare it to the 3DS version. After that, I'll determine which playstyle and abilities I like more and place into a tier list. As always, I'm Victor of Saving Skylands, and here I love to play and talk about Skylanders still after all of these years. So let's get into it. But first, I want to give a shout out to all of my channel members. Thank you guys for all the support and helping save Skylands with me. Alright, so we're going to start with Stealth Elf. Now, when I review these, we're going to be looking less into upgrades and more about the moves themselves. On the 3DS version and any other version, they still have 3 moves, but on the 3DS version, they actually have a jump button. That's really the only thing different. But for Stealth Elf, you have her basic Knife Slash. Doesn't matter what path you go, these moves will be there. So this is how we're going to look at them. So you got their knives, and then you got her speed move, and then she goes invisible and stabs quickly. So those are her 3 moves. No jump button, so we can't really judge that. So overall, these are her 3 moves.
Never thought I'd say this, but Stealth Elf might be better on the 3DS. She has the same man attack. She doesn't have the additional blades that help her out, but same attacks. Now she has ranged moves, actual like ninja stars, which makes sense. And then her classic invisibility and just being fast. But this move I really love.
Alright, now Warnado, easily the hardest Skylander to master in Spyro's Adventure because you have to use all of his moves at once, but looking at them separately, you have his main attack. Yes, this is a main attack. It's kind of all it does. I don't know, I don't enjoy it. And then you have his tornado moves. You can shoot one at a time. And then he flies, and then he can also shoot, and then do like slams. But overall, I just wish he had a better main attack. He'd be a lot better.
Now this is how Warnado should have always been. He actually has a main attack. All melee, this is how should have been. It's lovely, I love it. Then you have his tornadoes. They do damage and then explode. And then his speed move, which for some reason the console version made his main attack. Doesn't make any sense.
Igniter is one of the sickest designed Skylanders. I love his design so much. But his moves, I don't know. Past his main attack, I really don't enjoy. I mean, I do like the big slam. It is pretty great, and you can charge it up. Wabam, take out Quigley a few times. But he does have one of the coolest swords, I will say that. And then you got his flame form, which I still don't understand to this day, because it leaves your body vulnerable, and like the enemies don't really go towards your flame form, they still go towards your body. So I don't understand the purpose.
Now here's Igniter. Igniter is the starter pack Skylander. And here's his combos. I actually like them a lot more. I think they're way more interesting. Now if you use your sprint move and you turn blue, you do more damage. Let's do that again. Blue. And then it goes away. Then your other move is your flame form, technically, which is the spirit of whatever, and will attack enemies.
Everybody say hi to Mr. Pew Pew. That's all he does. So this is how you use Drobot, and this is what Drobot does. You just basically hold the main attack. Other than that, the gears don't do anything. If you can get them to hit somebody, they might do a little bit of damage, but other than that, you just kind of use this. And his flight is by far the hardest to control if he even wants to fly. I think he is the fastest flyer in the game, though. And the afterburners do a lot of damage, but it's kind of tough to get the enemies behind you. You kind of have to go up to the enemies. Like if this was an enemy, you'd have to flip around like this and then go like that. I don't know, when you could just do this. Very boring, but very good.
Now, will Drobot be as dominant in this version? Actually, he might be more dominant. So he has his main attack, still the same, shoots a bunch. Then you have his gears, but they shoot straight now. And also, if you hold down the button, it charges it up, and they're electrified. No, you don't have to hold it for that long, just a little while. And then he still has his flight, but now it leaves behind a visible afterburner, rather than the console version where you don't really know. You have to be very close. This affects way more of an area.
Now, Flame Slinger, one of my favorite Skylanders. You have just his arrows, plain arrows. You got the volley shot arrows, which work wonderfully together. You can intertwine them like this. It's great. And then you got his, obviously, amazing fire dash.
Moveset wise, Flameslinger did not change at all. He still has his fire dash, but now instead it leaves these behind rather than an entire fire wall. And he has his shots, but they only fire a single shot. And then he has his volley, which doesn't go as far or leave fire behind. Literally everything about him is worse.
Zook. I've had Zook since I was a kid. Literally when SSA came out. His main attack, honestly, I think it shoots faster than most. Like, other than, like, Drobot. But you're able to hit this pretty quickly. And the shrapnel goes all over. Pretty good. Then you got his mortar attack. You can intertwine these just like Flameslinger's attacks. Yep. Yeah. Quigley, walk right in there. Perfect idea. And you can kind of shield yourself with the mushrooms. I think you can have 2 at a time. Yep. But enemies seem to just take them out in one hit, so it is what it is. Quigley's trapped forever, by the way.
Zook is another one where not a lot changed. You have his main move. It sadly does keep him in place, though, and they make really weird noises. His mortar attack now shoots 2 instead of just 1, but they don't splinter off. But you can shoot them really fast, so I guess it's okay. And then his speed move will leave the cactus or whatever bamboo behind, which acted as the wall. So really not a lot changed for him.
All right, so now Bash. Bash has his basic tail swipe. Does amazing damage. Everybody knows that. But we're not really worried about damage. It's more about the moveset themselves. So single tail swipe. It's bad sometimes because it literally freezes you in place and it's a single hit. But luckily it does a lot of damage. Then you got the Stone Fist Trap, or wait, no, that's Dino Ring. But these things. And then you roll around. So those are his 3 moves on this version.
Now, Bash is one I'll definitively say is better on the 3DS. Now, damage numbers don't show it, but moves-wise, I do like it more. So he has his basic tail swipe, but look what it does now. Has full-on combos. You have your roll, which is his speed move, and now you have this amazing move. Just wait. Doesn't look too crazy, right? Well, now look. It's so good. It adds range to his moveset, which he so desperately needed. This man has range, close range, and speed.
Chop Chop looks so tiny. I feel like he would be best friends with Quigley. Oh no, I guess he's a little bit bigger. Anyways, main attack. His sword swipes with one of the coolest looking swords in the game. And then you have I think that's Bone Bramble or something like that. There's too many bone moves. I get the names mixed up between him and Hex. But it does pretty good damage. It's his only ranged move. And then you have his shield. His shield will deflect damage. And I think on the other path, once you get hit like 3 times, it'll do like a large blast, knocking everyone back. It's pretty great. His sword is definitely his saving grace, though.
Now, Chop Chop looks-wise, I honestly think I like better on the 3DS. And I like his sword swipes a lot better, too. They have a lot better range. But they got rid of his ranged moves. So he has 2 shield moves, basically. Shield myself, shield and also run. They got rid of his Bone Bramble or whatever it's called. But I do like his sword better.
Now for my favorite Skylander, Gil Grunt. Yeah. You have his, what are they, harpoons? I always call them anchors, but they are harpoons. It's a single shot. It's not very good. I do not like this move at all, I'm going to be honest. But then you got his water jetpack. And you have his hose. So those are his 3 moves. I'm not going to look too much into upgrades and why he's the greatest Skylander in the game. But let's look at the other version now.
Now for Gilgrunt, they really didn't change much. I still love my boy. But now he shoots 3 and then 1 and 1 and 1 and then stop shooting. Once it starts spinning again, you can shoot 3 again. Spin 3. Spin 3. Otherwise, you just shoot 1. Then you have your hose like normal. It does control really well, but you can't shoot exploding starfish or anything like that anymore. And then you just have your speed move, which, I don't know. They took away his water jetpack, so it's kind of even.
Now the most expensive SSA Skylander, Whamshell. Alright, so his main attack is just these swipes. They do really good damage. They're really clunky though. Not my favorite, but they do enough damage to make up for it. This is my favorite move of his. It's just lovely. And then you have his ranged attack, which is awful. It's just terrible. I think you can only shoot 3 at a time, and then he stops. Yeah. Not great.
I feel bad for anyone who played the 3DS version with Whamshell growing up, because he's probably one of the worst, if not the worst in the game. His main attack didn't change a whole bunch. Just a little fancier looking. And his shooting is better. But then you're just stuck running around. I don't know. He's very underwhelming. They took away his most powerful move. Not very happy about that. You get stuck with this.
Now for Voodoo, you have his axe swipes, nice and quick. Love it. And then you have his tripwires, if I could get it to work. And then you have this, like I think it's Scorpion from Mortal Kombat. like, get over here. That's what he does. Where he can get, I don't know, you can go towards a wall. If I can grab onto something, that would be cool. See, he did it a little bit right there. He did it at the very beginning when I put him on, but can you grab onto something? Thank you. It's kind of like that. I don't know. It's really useless, I'm going to be honest.
Now for Voodoo, they took everything I loved about him and made him worse. So his combos, I don't like as much. Or his main attack, I should say. He doesn't really have a combo. It's kind of all there is to it. But you can hold it up. Or charge it up. And then do a single swipe. You have this move. They kept this move, but got rid of his tripwire. Now he just runs around.
Now good old Spyro. Okay, so you have his fireballs. You have a dash. And you do have the flight that became useless after this game, and even in this game really isn't great. But I mean, you can use the flight with other moves to do this. It does like a lot of damage. But overall, he's a very simple Skylander. I do think he is overhated because he is still very good, but here's his moves.
Now, interestingly enough, they took away Spyro's flight, which I did not expect. But his main move is a single fireball now. But you have to charge it up to shoot 3. So you no longer shoot a big fireball, you have to shoot 3. But his main is just 1. And then they traded out his flying for a big old headbutt. It is pretty good. It does a lot of damage. But for a speed move, is still his charge move. So not a lot changed, but I do like using this move a lot. But the fireballs definitely got worse.
Now on to Zap. His main attack, I wish it just would shoot more than 3 times. That's my only gripe with Zap's entire kit, is that it doesn't consecutively shoot. It's in bursts of 3. But then he has his main speed, and then you also have his wave speed move. Yeah, he has 2 speed moves. But everything does damage, so I love everything about his kit, other than the fact that this doesn't shoot consecutively. It just shoots 3 spurts.
Zap is another one where not a lot changed. You have his main move. It doesn't shoot in spurts of 3 anymore, but it doesn't shoot as fast, so I think it does just about the same amount of damage over time. But now he has this big wave move where it's not a speed move, but it does a lot of damage, and it's really cool to use. And now this is the funniest move. You guys all need to focus up on this. He still has his little speed move, but now he does the wiggle wiggle. This is the goofiest looking move ever. He's like swimming like a fish.
Now, Drill Sergeant. Alright, so his main move is my least favorite main move in Skylanders history. It's terrible. A main move, okay, here's your shots. Look at him. He's malfunctioning because he can't shoot anymore. And then when an enemy gets really close, let's see if he'll do it quickly. No. He does this stupid little pinch thing that does hardly any damage and refuses to shoot a rocket when someone's near him. It is so annoying. Anyways, I'm trying not to go on a rant here. His speed move is amazing. I love his bulldozing path. I was trying to figure out why he had one arm way higher than the other for a second there. And then this move just hardly does anything. It's like a gnat hitting your forehead. You just don't even feel it. But I guess if you use everything all together, he's usable. He's fun to use throughout the levels, but as soon as you get to a boss fight, it's miserable.
Now for Drill Sergeant, not really anything changed. He has the 3 same moves. He's got the bulldoze move. It just looks a little different. He's got his rockets, but they do shoot faster. And he does not do that annoying little pinch thing. They always come back when you're ready to shoot. They do shoot slow still, but it is what it is. Not as slow. And then you have his little laser.
Now this crazy guy, Trigger Happy. All right, his main attack, everybody knows. It's just pure chaos. Just shoot everywhere. They bounce off walls. It's lovely. And then you have his machine gun, which I couldn't get to work for a second. There it is. I don't know if it's the Wii U or the game, but here's his machine gun. And then you have his, he'll throw safes on one path, other ones are pot of gold, but it does a lot of damage, does a little knockback as well.
Alright, on the 3DS, here's Trigger Happy. Main attack is the same. It charges up differently, though. Now we'll charge it up. No longer a big shot. It just shoots individual shots, which is very interesting. But what I do like about Trigger Happy a lot better is this lovely move right here. It spawns and despawns so much faster. And then also a speed move, which would have been amazing for Trigger Happy. If he could just run this fast and then go back to shooting on the console version, amazing. I would happily trade the safe move.
Good old Ooga Booga Double Trouble. Alright, so his main attack's this beam. It's pretty easy to control. It's really good when it locks onto enemies. It gets better in Giants when it splinters off, but sadly this isn't Giants. Then you have this lovely move, which causes a knockback, and also does a lot of damage. And you have his minions.
Alright, here's his main attack. Nothing new. Kind of just, it locks on and does its thing like it always does. But his minions spawn a little differently. Now, you throw them out, but they act the same. And then speed move. Some characters' speed moves really help. Some don't. I don't know. Very mixed feelings about. It depends which move they end up replacing.
So Sonic Boom, or like the worst mom ever, just chucking her babies at people. And then they get defeated in like one hit, but it's fine. Her main attack is a Scream. Does a big time damage. You can even like charge it up. Oh, well, hold on. I think you have to have a certain path for it, but it does a lot of damage and they echo off the babies. And then, like dragons do, she does fly.
Now for Sonic Boom, her main attack now also keeps her just standing in place. This seems to be an ongoing theme for the 3DS version. You cannot move. But here's your babies still. And you can kind of charge them up to throw a couple. And then you could scream, and they scream and go around you. We all scream for ice cream, I know. And then a charge move, which is weird that it took away flight, but they gave other people flight.
I can't tell you how happy I am that I finally like Prison Break. I definitely don't think he's one of the best, but I genuinely do like Prison Break. But let's take it as moves and see why. Okay, the beam is not supreme, I will tell you that. It is very satisfying to use, but I wish it lasted longer or didn't make you as slow. Like, see how slow you start going? It's not great. It's better when you just tap it. And then you have the triple crystals. So instead of saying the beam is supreme, he needs to say the crystals are supreme, because these things do so much damage and they cover so much ground. And then if enemies ever get close to you, whip out one of these moves, it does pretty good.
They ruined Prison Break. I'm just going to say that first off. His beam, no longer supreme, never really was, but it holds him in place, but it does last forever. That's the only good thing, is that it lasts forever. But you have to stay in one spot. You can't move. And then you get to do this now. Instead of dropping crystals on heads for so much damage, you get basically a slam bam move. But when you shoot it, it does a lot cooler of an effect. And then you got to charge.
Now look at this industry plant here. How Eruptor made it to every advertisement for Skylanders I'll never know for being not very good. But I do think he's better than people give credit for, but he's by far bottom of the barrel. So his main move is these awful lobs. Like I said earlier, the lob moves are just not the move. Like, they literally land right in front of him. It's terrible. Good thing he's called Eruptor, because his eruption move is the best move. Sadly, it makes his gameplay very boring, because you just stand in one spot and then use an eruption. And then you have this useless move. It does a lot of damage, but it just kind of rolls around. I think you can have 3 at once. Yep, you can have 3 at once, and they just roll about. They kind of have a mind of their own, but that's all he's got.
Now, Eruptor already isn't great, but somehow they made him worse in this version, other than his main attack. His main attack's pretty good, shoots fast, bounces a lot better, not as lobby. But then you have this little explosion, but you could charge it, and obviously it does more. But it's not exactly his eruption move that makes him so, He's called Eruptor, and you took away his eruption move. And then he has a speed move where he ice skates on fire, it looks like. I really don't know.
Good old Whirlwind, a Skylander I used to find so annoying and so painfully awful, but for some reason now I like. I don't get it. But you have her clouds, which are the best move in the game almost. You have one of the worst main attacks in this rainbow lob. Any character that has a lob, I do not like. Also, when you're running, it drops like right in front of her. Like, it's just not good. And then you have flight, which I don't know if she's the fastest flyer, but she is so fast it's not even funny.
Now for Whirlwind, her clouds got worse, but her rainbows are better. Now, she shoots rainbows constantly, non-stop, and hardly lobbing at all. Her clouds do not chain together. They just act as minions. You can have 2 on the field, and they do not last very long. Well, maybe you can have 3. They just really don't last. But then she has a really good charge move that I do enjoy. I don't put too much thought into the charge moves because every Skylander seems to have one on the 3DS, but it does do good damage.
Stump Smash. His main attack does a lot of damage. It's quick. I like it. I honestly think I like it more than Terrafin's punches. It just does a lot of damage, and you can use it quickly. And then here's, oh, not the combo. You got the big nut that you can smash right on Quigley's head. And then you got these little nuts, which are amazing with the Wow Pow on Giants. I know I keep referencing Giants because just Giants is peak Skylanders gameplay. But you have little nut, big nut, smashy smash.
For Stump Smash, not a lot changed, but his main attack now holds you in place. Kind of stinks. Then he still has the little nuts move. But now my favorite move that he has is this charge move that also does damage. I think this is so menacing. Can you imagine facing this in PvP?
Now Cinder, a Skylander that I never knew existed before Skylanders. But you have her main attack, which is the lightning. And then you have her dash, which you can go like underneath enemies and leaves little ghosties behind that you can blow up. And then obviously the flight. Another flying move that is so useless and makes SSA dragons useless in any other game after, pretty much, because they have a wasted move on flying.
Cinder's actually one that didn't really change that much, but her main attack now holds her in place. You can't move at all. Then you get this interesting move. Shoots like kind of, I don't know what they are really ahead, but you can charge it up and it'll do even more damage. And then you still have her little phantom dash or whatever that you can blow up via your lightning.
We bring the boom! Oh my gosh, I hate myself for that. Alright, so main attack. You have his bombs. Another lobbing throw that when you're running forward pretty much lands on your own head. Don't enjoy that. So the way to play is kind of throw and run the other way. But you can hold it down and it does bounce a little more. I don't know, just a weird way to play. You got your slam that causes a knockback and does a good amount of damage, and also has an upgrade path where this does upgrade and do a crazy amount of damage. And then you have the bombs you can leave behind that you can turn around and kick in opposite directions. But you could just leave these behind, chase people around, and then they just explode.
Alright, for Boomer, literally everything's better. He chucks bombs with both hands now. And he still has a slam move that you can press, but you can charge it, and it does even more damage. And then now his sprint move lays the bombs.
Now on to Quigley. I mean Camo. Alright, so I'm not even going to say his main move. Here's his main move, as I didn't mean to do that. His main move can actually heal him. Something I don't know if is possible on the 3DS, but we will find out. Then you have his vines. The vines are amazing. Nice voice crack. 24 years old, still gonna have them. You have these nice vines that do a ton of damage and cover a ton amount of the field. And then the watermelons. The watermelons do an amazing amount of damage in Giants. It's one of the fastest ways to take out Nightmare Chaos, that final fight. And they're also really good in this game too, just he really shines in Giants.
Now Camo. Camo's really interesting. Okay, his main attack's about the same. And then now you have a speed move, like a running move. But this move acts as an attack. But if you eat them, now you shoot double. It is really cool. I miss the vines and the watermelons, but this is pretty cool.
Now Lightning Rod. For Lightning Rod, his main attack, I just wish it shot faster. This is as fast as it shoots. And then you have his short range attack, which is the path I do have. And then this lovely move, which looks amazing on the other path, but it's just a lot of fun. Overall, pretty solid Skylander.
Here is Lightning Rod. All right, his main attack hasn't changed a bit. Maybe throws a little bit faster, but that's about it. Now this is where things get a little different. Now he has a speed move, like most of the characters do in this version. But this, you can no longer control. It more so acts as a minion or a turret. You can no longer hold it down to control where it goes. It just kind of stays in one place and does damage. So overall, that's kind of all he has. You're just kind of stuck doing this and then planting one of these down every once in a while. You got a speed move.
Alright, well this one's going to be interesting. Ghost Roaster, aka my least favorite Skylander in this entire game. So his main attack is this, I don't know, it's clunky, it doesn't attack fast. This is his main attack. Has hardly any range to it. And then you have the move that hurts yourself, making him the only Skylander that can die in the hub world. Isn't that interesting? And then you have, obviously, the iconic, just floating skull or whatever it's called. But it does a lot of damage, but when you hit an enemy, it kind of stops you, which makes it pointless. But he's fast, so I guess he has that for him.
Now, Ghost Roaster is one of the most complex and interesting Skylanders in the 3DS version. Now, look at his main attack. Look how much better it is. It's actually a full-blown combo. And then you have these minions. You see the little guy next to me? Now, if you use, hold on, this move, you turn into the giant skull. But if you don't consume one, hold on, wait for it to go away. That's your kind of ectoplasm mode or whatever it's called, where you're kind of invincible and it acts as a speed move as well. But if you have these minions out and you eat one, you become the giant skull. It's really good.
Ah, Terrapin. I wonder if he ever got his $5. Anyways, he has his main punches. He just doesn't travel. He kind of like stays in one spot. He's like forced to get hit, kind of. And then you have his baby sharks, which are kind of like minions, but they don't last. And then obviously this very quick move where he can come out and belly flop does a lot of damage.
Now here is good old Terrapin. His punches are so much faster in this version. Pretty great. Keeps you in one place though still. Then you get this move. Instead of minions, you get this big, like, ground throw. And then speed move. You have your, I don't even know, what is it, dig? His underground shark move.
Well, here she is. Here's her main attacks. She shoots pretty quick orbs. They do like 8 damage a piece or something like that, so it adds up to like 16 damage. On the other path, it's like 12, 6 a piece or something like that. And then you have her bones, which are amazing, and they just tear up enemies. You can hide behind, use the skull rain. That does massive amounts of damage, while also using all your other moves. She's a Skylander where you can use all 3 moves at once, and I love that.
Now here's Hex on the 3DS. Now her main attack is about the same, other than the fact that she shoots single bolts and not from both hands at the same time. She shoots them separately. And then you have kind of like the skull rain, except they're not skulls, they're more of orbs. More like Ninjini. And then you'll notice a lot of 3DS Skylanders have speed moves, so she gains a speed move. But no bone wall, which is my favorite move of hers, so that's sad.
Now on to everybody's favorite Yeti, Slam Bam. So you have a speed move. Doesn't go very far. I wish it went a little farther, but it is quick. Makes boss fights a lot easier. You got his punches. A little slow, but they do a lot of damage. And then you have the ice wall, which you have to manually decide how close and how far it goes. So this is as far as you can take it. And then if you just press it, it goes right in front of you. You can have 3 at a time, get enemies trapped in there, punch them, it does more damage.
Here is Slam Bam, so you have his punches. They end with a nice, really satisfying combo. Look at that. That is quite fun. Then you have this move that he pops up. The same things now, but you can't control how far they go. It's just right in front of you. But you can punch them, and it shoots a shard out, just kind of like how Bash does on the console. And then, speed move.
What was my least favorite Skylander of all time? We have Lava Chicken, aka Sunburn. Alright, so his main move is the Saving Grace, I will say that. And on the Wii version, it moves way quicker than any other version. Until you get to this form. But luckily, it's so good and does so much damage that it doesn't even matter. You have his dash to get him out of the way. Main attack, it charges up. I wish it just charged a little quicker to get to the max strength, but it's alright. And then you have the teleport move, which I hardly ever use, which you can aim to which one you want to go to. Just, I don't know. It's not far enough and doesn't do enough damage to ever really do it. I end up just using this. If I ever get in trouble, just do a little dash and charge it up again.
Now, Sunburn. Alright, now I never thought I would like his main attack better on console, but I do. This doesn't allow you to move at all, like turn. This is it. It doesn't charge up. That's all it does. And then now, his teleport move is like a mixture of his dash. It only goes straight now. And then he can fly, but it's more of a glide, and it does damage all around. It's really strange. Somehow you made what I thought was a bad Skylander even worse.
Such an underrated Skylander right here, I will say that. Dino Rang is amazing. He is at his peak in the X-Spec versions, though. The Wii version, he's not as good, mostly because of these traps. But his one move is the traps, and they will pop up when an enemy walks over them, pretty much one-shotting almost any enemy other than the giant enemies. His main attack is what really holds him back for me. I do not enjoy the boomerangs whatsoever. If you hold the button, you can control it around, but it's not great. And then throw this around you. So I end up obviously using traps and this move more than anything.
Now here's Dino Ring on the 3DS. You have his main attack. See, now he actually has like a combo throw. 1, 2, 3. Not the 1, 2. And you got this kind of like turret kind of deal. It sits there and does damage. You can call it back. And then also, he now has a speed move. But he lost his very high damage stonefish traps, which not a big fan of. I love those things, so give me them back.
Who named this guy Garbage Can? Anyways, Wrecking Ball. He has his main tongue attack. It goes pretty quickly, but I swear in actual combat it feels like it works slower, especially when he starts eating people. And then you have his burps. And you can charge it up, I think. Yep, there you go. Goes all around. And then you have his speed move, which is just like so hard to control. It kind of just goes in a straight line. It covers a lot of ground, but it is so hard to control, and it bounces off walls.
Here is Wrecking Ball. All right, so his main attack is just about the same, but it does go a lot faster. Then you can actually hold it down, and it kind of slingshots you to a target. It's really cool. Burps are about the same, other than when you charge them up. Pops you up too, but same attack overall. And the roll ability is more like bashes. You can control it nice and easy. So much better.
Now on to the special Dark Spyro, which the 3DS seems to love, but I gotta show the gameplay because I gotta compare it. So it's the same as regular Spyro on the console versions. It's just his flames are pink instead to show the darkness. That's literally it.
Now Dark Spyro is very different. His main attack is melee, but it is a really cool melee attack. And then his fireballs, just a single shot, kind of like a lob shot, kind of like Whirlwind on the console. And then flight. Pretty simple, but really interesting.
Alright, so it is tier list time, so I'm going to go through all of the 33 Skylanders and put them whether I like them better in the console version or the 3DS version. Starting off with Hex, I'm just going to go in order, these are just randomized. But Hex, taking away her bone wall is absolutely criminal. Console's much better. Bash, Really surprised me because I do like him on the console, but I like his moveset better for the 3DS. I think it would have carried over really well. Same thing with Boomer. Boomer's moveset I love. They could have kept literally it all the same. Camo, console version. Taking away the vines is just too much. Chop Chop. Oh man, I'm really not a big fan of Chop Chop, but I do. Man, this is tough. Giving him 2 shield moves is a little weird. So I'm going to go with a little bit of range, and that's going to be the console version. Cinder, without a doubt, console version. Dark Spyro, you got to give it to the 3DS because he's the only one. The console didn't give him a different moveset, just made it different colors. Dino Rang, I love the Stonefish traps. You got to give me those. Double Trouble, not much changed here other than the big time damage, which I really do enjoy, of that big splashdown hit that only the console version has. Drill Sergeant. All right, so we really got to think about this one. This one is pretty much the same, except for the fact that he shoots faster on the 3DS. Drobot, despite being just elite, I'm saying the 3DS version's better. He still has the flight with the afterburners, which are even better. His shooting is the same, but now his gears are actually useful. Eruptor is surprisingly worse on the 3DS. I would rather have his console version because he has an erupt ability. Flameslinger is pretty much the same, but worse. So we're going to go up there with the console, of course. Ghost Roaster, without a doubt, 3DS has the way better kit, way more interesting, and useful. Gilgrunt, don't play with me. Console, not even close. Give me the hose path. Let me shoot Starfish. Igniter is interesting, but okay, interesting pick to put in the starter pack, by the way, but console version's better. Lightning Rod, definitely console version. Being able to control the lightning, have the clouds float around you, stuff like that. The main attack's the same, but everything else is better on the console. Prison Break is interesting. Okay, his beam keeps you still, so that would be console version I like better. But it does end, whereas the 3DS version, it doesn't. So that would be better over here. But missing out on the close range slam and then also the triple crystal rain down. Now Slam Bam is interesting, and when I watched the gameplay back, I think I actually like him better on the 3DS. I like how he has a ranged move when he puts the ice wall in front of him and then hits it. And his combos are about the same, or his main attack, I keep calling them combos, but his main attack is about the same, and he still has the same speed move. So I would say the 3DS is better, gives him a little bit of range. Sonic Boom. Ugh, they butchered her character. Put her in console. Spyro is almost the same, but not. I don't know. Definitely got to go console version still. The fireballs are so much better. Head charge is about the same, but the flight and the slam I really enjoy on the console version. Now Stealth Elf. All right. This is going to be interesting. I know she's the best character in the game, but those ninja stars, I love them, and I would have loved to have them on the console version. Losing out on the Scarecrow is no big deal as long as you don't go the Scarecrow path, which 3DS, you don't have that decision. So if they were to just carried over the Ninja Stars on one of the paths or something like that, I do think it would have been better overall. Stump Smash, they just made everything worse, so we're going to go console version. Sunburn, I was really let down, and Sunburn's really good in SSA, but not on the 3DS. Terrafin, I actually like his moves a lot better. I like that big slam he has. He punches faster, and he still has the go underground move. But sadly, it doesn't have the come out of the ground and do the slam. Trigger Happy, give me that 3DS move set. I don't care. I know every character has a speed move, but he needed a speed move with how little his health is and how fast he shoots, especially with the big turret that he has. It's just everything's better on the 3DS for Trigger Happy, other than missing out on the safe or whatever he throws. Voodoo, they took away everything I love about this man. Warnado got so much better on the 3DS, giving him an actual main attack while still giving him his spin move. I couldn't decide whether I wanted to say spin or speed, but either way, same thing. Wham Shell, you took away one of the most powerful attacks in the entire game, so you got to give it to the console. Whirlwind, if her lightning still chained, I would be without a doubt the 3DS, but since it doesn't, I do like her main attack better on the 3DS, but her clouds are her best move, and you took that away. Wrecking Ball, by far 3DS. Being able to control his role like how Bash can on the console, peak. Also, being able to attack faster and the big burp popping you up, getting out of the way of damage, peak gameplay right there. Zap is the case of if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And I don't know. All three of his moves are good. I know he has 2 speed moves, and I know that he has 1 speed move down here on the 3DS, but that big tidal wave does not make up for being able to leave like streaks of water behind and shocking them, which on the console version is fantastic. Zook, I do love, and I like the idea of his kit on the 3DS, but without the shrapnel and not being able to shoot as fast and also standing in place, I got to give it to the console. The man attack and then also the mortar move is just better. I don't mind having a speed move and leaving the bamboo behind. I think that is cool. Honestly, I'd rather have that than the mushrooms, but it's all about the main attack and not being able to move, and also the mortar attack that's nowhere near as good. So console version. And with that, that is going to conclude it for this video. Thank you guys for watching so much. I hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Let me know if there was some surprises or if you're going to get the 3DS version now because it looks interesting. I didn't even show hardly any of I didn't show any of the story and stuff, but the gameplay is certainly fun. I do recommend. I played through the whole game on this channel. You can find it in the live streams tab. If you guys would rather watch it first before you buy it, but luckily it's not very expensive if you already have a 3DS or a 2DS. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate all the support on the channel. Make sure you guys check out the recent ranking videos. I did all hub worlds in Skylanders ranked. I also did every final level in Skylanders ranked. I'm currently working on another, but I don't know when this video is going to come out, so you guys will probably get it soon somewhere. I don't know. There's links all over the place. If not, in the description, you can find links for everything. If you guys want to become a member or check out anything else in the link tree, new merch is in there. My Twitch is in there, second channel where all my stream clips go and playthrough videos. So yeah, thank you guys for watching so much. I know it's the 3rd time I've said that in this outro because I suck at outros, but you know what? Let's do it a 4th time. Thank you guys for watching. All right, I gotta go. All right, keep saving Skylands.